Welcome to the UON Visa talk. Today we have Rebecca Gillespie. She's going to be talking about the visa and immigration presentation. She has some slides that she will be sharing during this presentation. If you have any questions, do write them down in the chat. We will do a Q&A at the end of the session, and we will try to answer as many questions as possible. If not, we will also give you the contact details of the visa team, so you can forward your questions after the session has finished. If that's okay with you, Rebecca, you can commence.
Sure, thank you. So hello everybody. My name is Rebecca Gillespie, and I'm an immigration advisor in the Visa and Immigration team at the University of Nottingham. So today we are going to be looking at extending your student visa inside the UK. It's my understanding that the majority, if not all students in that group will be in this situation. So first of all, in order to be eligible to extend your student visa inside the UK, your new course must begin within 28 days of your current visa expiring. If you're unsure about your eligibility to extend your student visa inside the UK, please do contact the Visa and Immigration team so that we can offer further advice. Throughout the presentation, we're going to be looking at some visa frequently asked questions. We will be looking at how to prepare your application and also giving you a general guide in terms of the overall process. At the end of the presentation, there will also be the opportunity to ask any questions that haven't already been covered over the next few slides. So this is kind of the first common question that many prospective students ask: when will I get my CAS? So your CAS is short for Confirmation of Acceptance for Studies, and it holds key information about yourself and your studies at the University of Nottingham. You should not submit your visa application until you have received your CAS. You can only use one CAS in your visa application. Your CAS is a live electronic document prepared by the university and held by the Home Office. So when will I get my CAS? You cannot receive a CAS until you have met all of the conditions of your offer. You will also need to have firmly accepted your offer in order for your CAS to be issued. CAS verification. So when you have met all of the conditions of your offer and firmly accepted your unconditional offer, colleagues in admissions will begin the CAS issuing process. You will receive an email to ask you to check your CAS information in your Nottingham hub when it is ready to assign. You need to check all of the information included is correct. You will have the opportunity to either verify everything is correct or to report any errors. Once you have verified that your CAS details are correct, you should expect to receive your CAS within 5 working days. Our next frequently asked question is, what financial evidence do I need? It's really important that you prepare this in advance, as incorrect financial evidence is the most common reason for a visa refusal. So first of all, do I need to prepare financial evidence? There is, when applying inside the UK, a financial evidence exemption. And in order to qualify for that financial evidence exemption, all of the following need to apply. You need to have been in the UK for the previous 12 months on a valid visa, and you have not been outside of the UK during that 12-month period for more than 3 months, and you are applying for your new visa from within the UK. If this applies to you, this means that you will be exempt from meeting the financial evidence requirements, meaning you are not required to prepare or submit financial evidence with your visa application. If you do not meet this exemption, then you will be required to prepare your financial evidence and ensure that it meets student visa requirements prior to submitting your online application. So, what financial evidence do I need? If you will be self-funding your studies using your own or family funds for the visa application, you need to show that the required funds have been saved in your own or a parent or legal guardian's bank account for at least 28 consecutive days prior to submitting your online visa application. If the funds fall below the required amount at any point during these 28 days, you will need to start counting 28 days again. The funding that you will need to show is 1 year's full tuition fee plus living costs. Your tuition fee will be confirmed on your CAS. You will need to show living costs up to a maximum of 9 months, so £9,207. This group will need to prepare the full amount in terms of living costs. So that will be 1 year's full tuition fee plus living costs, £9,207, and those funds need to have been saved for at least 28 consecutive days. It's worth noting that the university cannot confirm any accommodation payments that you may have already made on your CAS. You should therefore not make any accommodation payments apart from necessary deposits if you are relying on these funds in order to meet the student visa financial evidence requirements. The university is able to confirm any tuition fee payments that you may make in advance. If you are relying on these payments in order to meet student visa financial evidence requirements, please ensure that your CAS confirms the correct amount under the course fees paid section prior to submitting your online visa application. So here I have linked our funding requirements webpage. So this provides really detailed guidance in terms of the student visa financial evidence requirements, and it also goes through the different funding methods. So I really do encourage you to have a look at this before you apply, just to ensure that you fully understand what it is that you need to prepare. So here we have listed the main funding methods that can be used for a student visa application. So firstly, self-funded students. They're likely to be relying on bank statements. So this should be a personal bank account, not a business account. This account can belong to you or your parents or legal guardians. You cannot rely on bank accounts from extended family, such as aunts or uncles. This will not meet the student visa financial evidence requirements. Funds should be in cash, which can be immediately accessed. Next, you may be receiving official financial sponsorship. So this can be a government, British Council, university, or an international company. The definition of international company is that they have offices in more than one country. If you have official financial sponsorship, you will submit a sponsor letter with your visa application. The university cannot confirm any external funding on your CAS. However, if you do have a university scholarship, this should be confirmed on your CAS. and so you do not need to submit any kind of confirmation letter with your visa application. It may be that you have a student loan. Please do refer to our funding requirements webpage for further details on this if this is relevant for you. Lastly, I wanted to touch upon low risk or differentiated students. Students who are considered low risk or differentiated are not required to submit financial evidence with their visa application. Please check the immigration rules, which I have linked here on this page, to check if your nationality is considered low risk or differentiated. Even though you don't have to submit the evidence at the time of applying, it is important that you do still meet the requirements at the time of applying. The reason for this is that the Home Office can spot check your application, and if they do, they will expect you to be able to provide evidence to show that you met the requirements at the time of submitting your online application. Okay, you may not be able to see this in great detail, but don't worry, because over the next couple of slides, we're going to look at it more closely. So this is a sample bank statement that we use, and we go through a number of essential pieces of information that it should show. So here you can see that this clearly shows the financial institution's name and logo. It would also need to confirm the name of the account holder. So this will be your name or a parent's or legal guardian's name. And you can also see that it will confirm the account number. Next, the caseworker is going to be looking to see a transaction history. So this is a list of credits and debits to the account. The transaction history needs to show clearly that the required funds have been saved for at least 28 consecutive days. So funds mustn't drop below the required amount at any point during these 28 days. The last transaction date on the statement should be no older than 31 days when you submit your online visa application. Next, we have an example of a certificate of deposit. So when we are checking this type of evidence, we look at two dates that we have circled here on the screen. So the top date is the date that the statement was printed, and the bottom date is the date that the funds were deposited. If there are more than 28 days or more between these two dates, then this will meet student visa requirements. Oanda.com. So here we're going to talk about different currencies. So it's fine to use funds in any currency. So these do not need to be in pounds. However, you should ensure that you check the exchange rate on the day that you submit your visa application. We recommend Oanda, which is linked on the screen here. This is the currency converter that the Home Office will use when checking your application. Just to also confirm, if your bank statements are not in English, these should be accompanied by official translations. It's also possible to rely on more than one bank account. If using multiple accounts, you just need to ensure that the required funds are met clearly and that these have been saved for at least 28 consecutive days. These should also be recent. So a last transaction date not older than 31 days at the time of submitting your online visa application. In addition to financial evidence, there are a number of other documents that you may need to submit with your visa application. So we have spoken about financial evidence. So if you do not qualify for the financial evidence exemption, you will need to submit financial evidence with your application. You may need official translations if any of your evidence isn't in English. You may need an ATAS certificate. So this is only required for certain courses. So if you are intending to study or research at postgraduate level in certain sensitive subjects, you will require ATAS clearance. If you do require ATAS, then you will be contacted by the university with specific guidance. It will also confirm on your CAS if ATAS is required. BRP, so you may need to submit a BRP if you have previously been issued one. Passport, so you will need a valid passport at the time of applying. Some things that aren't confirmed on here, what I will just mention, is TB test. Not required if you are submitting a student visa application inside the UK. Also, evidence of previous qualifications are not required. If you are applying to study a course at degree level or above at a higher education provider, so the University of Nottingham, the university is able to assess your academic ability, and this is confirmed on your CAS, and so the Home Office will not expect you to provide evidence of previous qualifications with your visa application. You'll see on the screen here that I have also linked to our online 10-step visa application guidance. Please do refer to this when completing your application. It breaks the process down into 10 steps and hopefully will be really useful when you are applying for your visa. So next we have our visa application form guidance. So this is a model application that we have provided with advice and suggestions about how to complete the online application form. Again, it's linked on the screen to our 10 steps. And it's step 6 of the guidance where you will be able to view the online form guidance. And I really recommend that you have this open at the time of submitting your online application and going through each question because that's what our guidance does. So hopefully it will be helpful. So next we are going to look at the visa application process and what you should expect to happen. So looking at applying inside the UK, there are 2 different routes that you may potentially go through. So before applying online, you will have the option to either use the UK Immigration ID Check app or attend an appointment. Usually people who do not have an electronic chip inside their passport are not eligible to use the app. If you use the app, you will be guided to upload your supporting documents electronically. You will not be required to attend an appointment and submit your biometrics. If you're not eligible to use the Home Office app, you will need to book a biometrics appointment at UK VCAS. Now, when you go through the process, you will be prompted and guided. So if this doesn't mean much at the moment, don't worry. It should be clear in terms of which direction you need to go. If attending an appointment, there is a service point in Nottingham City Centre. The basic fee for the biometric appointment in Nottingham is £69.99. So you may also wish to look at other locations for appointments, such as Birmingham, which sometimes has free appointments. And then once you have completed, either gone through the app or through the appointment process, you will need to wait to receive a decision. So standard processing time inside the UK is 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, so here we are looking at the kind of documentation that you may expect to receive once you have received a decision on your application. Now, you may not see this table very well, but it is within our 10-step guidance. So if you refer to the link in my previous slide, you'll be able to see this more clearly. But you will see that the documentation that you receive depends on how you apply, so whether you use the app or attend an appointment, and also if you are considered a visa national or a non-visa national. So it might be that you receive an e-visa and a BRP, or just an e-visa or just a BRP. When you receive your visa decision letter, it will confirm the documentation that you receive. You will note on the screen here that I have also confirmed the Home Office plans. So the Home Office plan to move towards the implementation of e-visas for nearly all visa holders living in the UK by 2025. So that means that there won't be any more BRPs. Now, the information that we have received is limited so far, but we will, of course, update all students as and when we receive more information from the Home Office. If you receive an e-visa, so a digital status, you will be able to view your immigration status online. If you are issued a BRP, your new BRP will be delivered via courier within 7 to 10 days to the address that you gave in your visa application form. So this will be sent to your postal address, and there is the opportunity to confirm the university's address if you wish for the university to receive your new BRP on your behalf. Okay, so next I wanted to just touch upon the registration process for new students to the university. So in order to register for your course at the university, you will need to book an in-person registration appointment. And at this appointment, your passport will be scanned. And also your immigration documents if you already have your e-visa or BRP card. It's important to note that we do not need a scan of your visa BRP card for the international college. So it will only be the visa that you have been issued for the University of Nottingham that we will need to scan at this appointment. If you have submitted a student visa application for the university and you are still awaiting your decision, you will need to complete a Microsoft form attaching the evidence of your application. I've linked this form on the screen here. So registration at the university is a two-part process. So you will be attending an in-person registration appointment, and you will also need to complete online registration. So the earliest you can complete your online registration will be 3 weeks prior to your expected course start date. You will receive emails and invitations in order to book your appointments. So please wait to receive those. Okay, so our last frequently asked question is, how can I avoid a visa refusal? So visa refusals are rare. However, I did want to allow a little bit of time to go through our top tips for avoiding a visa refusal. So our top tips, if you are fully or partially self-funded, we suggest the following. Make sure you know the level of funds you are required to show. Show the necessary funds have been held by you or your parents for at least 28 days in a registered financial institution. Show that the 28-day rule is met very clearly. So either a bank letter stating this or a transaction history showing that the money has not dipped below the required amount, even for 1 day. Make sure that your financial evidence is recent, showing a last transaction dated no more than 31 days ago at the time you apply for your online visa. You cannot use bank statements of other family members, such as aunts, uncles, brothers. This will not meet student visa requirements. If your visa has been refused, the reasons will be confirmed on your visa decision letter. It's important that you contact the visa and immigration team immediately and provide a copy of the visa decision letter. We will be able to advise on whether you can appeal the decision or whether you need to submit a new application. If you need to make a new application, you will require a new CAS from the university. So next we have a link and QR code to the Visa and Immigration Team quiz. This is only 4 questions. All answers are anonymous, and it just tests your understanding in terms of what we've covered during the presentation. You will get the answer. So if something is incorrect, hopefully by completing the quiz, it will help you to understand that part. Like I said, it's anonymous, and from our perspective, it's good to have an insight in terms of how well the presentation has been understood. So please do complete that. You don't necessarily need to do that now because I will be sharing the slides after, so you will have it then as well. So our contact details, so please do email us if you have any questions. You're also welcome to call the team. So our phone lines are open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. And you can speak to somebody in the Visa and Immigration team. Like I said, if you are unsure about any of the documents that you plan to submit or the process, we are very happy for you to contact us, and we will do our best to help you with any queries that you may have. So finally, thank you. Thank you for listening to the presentation. I hope it was useful. We do have the opportunity for questions, and I'm happy to take any. Just to note, when asking any questions, please do not give any personal information in your questions. So try to keep it general, so that we can answer in this context. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Rebecca. For the students who are still in this meeting, if you could please write down your questions in the chat. We'll try to answer as many of them as possible. And as Rebecca says, if we don't have enough time, don't worry. She will share the spreadsheet and the contact details so you can ask for the questions. So if you go to the chat now, if you have any questions, we'll try to answer them. No questions yet. I'll try to see if there were any questions that the students asked last time. Perhaps that could be useful. One of the questions that I noticed a lot of students asked is if they are able to apply for the visa for the university within the UK. So if their plan is not to leave the UK after the studies, would they be able to apply for a visa within the UK?
Sorry, I am here. Yes, so like I said, I think it was towards the beginning in terms of kind of eligibility. In order to be eligible to extend your student visa inside the UK, it's to do with the gap between your current visa expiry and the start date of your new course. So provided there's not a gap of more than 28 days, then you are eligible. So it's my understanding that this group should be within that category. Let me know if I'm not correct. But like I said, if you are unsure, then you can always contact us, and we'll be able to advise you individually.
Fantastic. I have a question in the chat. It says, if I have some doubt in the middle of the process, what do I need to do? I'm assuming getting in contact with your team would be the most adequate thing to do, but
Yeah, definitely. So I would really encourage students to have a look at the guidance that I have linked. So the 10-step guidance is really good because it takes you through kind of preparing for the application, then it takes you through the application itself, and then also what to expect once you have submitted your application. So it really just covers all stages of the process. But if there is anything that you're not sure about, or something has maybe happened that seems unusual, then I would say reach out to the visa and immigration team, and we'll be able to help you.
fantastic. We'll give it a minute, see if anyone has any other questions. If not, not to worry. As we said before, we will be sharing this online session as well as a spreadsheet presentation. Okay. Great. I think that's it. Thank you very much, Rebecca.
Thank you. I hope that was helpful. I will share the slides so that you can all refer to that information. Please do complete the quiz. And yeah, best of luck, and contact us if you do need any help.
Fantastic.